What, as a home gardener, what should you be doing for the fall and winter? And a couple things come to mind. Well, three really. One is there is still time if you want to plant some fall crops, some short season crops. You can plant things like radishes, baby leaf lettuce, spinach. All of these things don't necessarily freeze at the first frost. In fact, some of them thrive on a light frost, and so we still maybe have several weeks left in the fall for some of that to get going. So if you have any vegetables, look on the seed packets and it'll say how many days to harvest. Look for something that's 30 to 40 days out, and go ahead and enjoy that. If your garden is done, or once that's over with, and you want to think about what you want to do for the winter, really, a couple things you can do is, one, we're going to be having tons of leaves and yard waste coming up. No reason to haul that off, and in fact, you can consider it, a way of making your own compost. So it's actually, instead of costing you to ship it off, it's actually free nutrients that you can recycle back into your soil. So compost pile is really super easy. I mean, people can get technical with it, but it's really just a matter of dumping all of your yard waste, kitchen scraps, plain brown paper and cardboard, anything like that can be put into just a pile. And by spring, once you dig under that pile, you're going to see some nice rich black humus material that you can then reapply to your beds in the spring. It may take a little bit longer than that. Wintertime, the temperature's obviously low. So it may be that it needs to go a few more months than that, but definitely if you get into that, then it's a year-round thing that you're just constantly adding to that pile, not having to worry about carting away all that yard waste. If you have time and desire, you can sort of speed up that decomposition process just by turning that pile. And so that's simply getting a pitchfork or a potato fork or anything. But you can see a lot of good, material that's already breaking down, and you're looking for that nice rich dark color. You're going to see a lot of little creatures and bugs and microorganisms in there that are doing their part to break down that material, and really it's nature's magic of turning that into compost. The benefits of turning this, though, is that it really does help to speed up that decomposition process, because decomposition requires oxygen. All those millions and trillions of little microorganisms need that oxygen to help break down the material. And so if you can provide oxygen by doing this turning and incorporating air in there, and then if it starts to look a little dry, take your garden hose, give it a real liberal amount of water, and that's going to help as well. You don't want it soggy, but it needs to have enough water and air for the microorganisms to do their job. And it's going to have a nice earthy smell to it. You don't want it to be smelling acrid or, rotten. That indicates that you don't have enough oxygen in there. You're just looking for just a nice uniform dark material that doesn't have, it's very homogeneous, doesn't have any large pieces in it. And if there are still some large pieces, there's always going to be plant stalks or sticks that haven't broken down. Just take those out, pick those out. And it's really something fun too to get kids involved in, because then they can see that it's been decomposing and breaking down into those nutrient components, and it's a great hands-on educational activity. The other thing that you can do if you have too many leaves is, once your garden beds are clean and bare, go ahead and spread a thick pile, 6 to 12 inches. Don't be afraid to put too much on, but just a real thick pile of leaves. What that's going to do is a couple things. It's going to hold the moisture in the soil over the winter so it doesn't desiccate in the dry winter air. And then the second thing it's going to do is it's going to actually, that underneath, it's going to actually maybe start breaking down in sort of a mini compost type of way. And so once you remove those leaves in the spring, there'll be a nice layer of some of that you can just work right into the bed. So that would be the things that come to mind for fall gardening ideas.